Welcome to Tenerife. Firstly, a moment for this view. We got in last night. We'll be here for almost 2 weeks. And I love what that happens when you arrive somewhere in the dark. So we didn't get to see this view until this morning. So it was like a surprise and absolutely incredible. We're staying in Los Gigantes, which is this little town named after these giants. And I think this is going to be the perfect place to base ourselves for like as many adventures as we can fit in the south half of the island. My first tip for you is the fact that we got in kind of late last night. Our flight was like a tiny bit delayed. We did get to see the sunset from the plane, which is always nice. But it meant by the time we got our rental car and came all the way out here, it was quite late. It was like 9 p.m. and a lot of the restaurants close early on Sundays. So we didn't really have any choice. There's only one place that was just about still had their kitchen open for some dinner. It was okay, it was decent. We had a couple of beers, it was nice. But now this morning, we're up, we're waiting for the sun to hit the beach over here by the cliffs. We've had our breakfast and our cups of coffee, and we're ready to go. Hosts of our Airbnb were so lovely. They gave us tons of really great information of where to visit on the island, and they also gave us a massive bowl of fruit, a bottle of wine, and they had a bottle of water and a bottle of Coke in the fridge for us. So highly recommend this accommodation already. I'll give you a proper tour a little bit later on during the week. But yeah, I'm gonna finish this coffee and then we're heading to the beach for our first adventure of the week. If you're new here, I'm Erica and this is Erica Lives Adventures. I'm all about finding adventure in everyday life. So whether it's exploring the wild outdoors or discovering hidden gems, my goal is to inspire you to experience a little more adventure in your own life. So sit tight and let's dive into the wild side of this incredible island. We've had a slight change of plans because it was very wavy at the beach and there's a lot of rocks under the water, so it felt like a little bit sketch. So we're heading to the natural, well, not so natural, but the rock pool now instead. Now this is closed as well for some reason. So the natural pools were closed. There was police there blocking people from going in. I think the waves have gotten too big, so similar issue to the beach. Instead we have ended up in Tipsy, previously known as Tipsy Terrace, which I did see quite a few other people mention in their videos and blogs and stuff, so I think it's kind of a known place in Los Gigantes, so maybe it's somewhere for us to tick off anyway. They have VIP sunbeds and umbrellas, and basically it's the only way to get an umbrella. So it's $12.50 per person. You get a sunbed with cushions and a towel, which is pretty nice. So we're going to chill out here by the pool because it's gotten really hot and we both just really need to cool off in some water, and the sea isn't an option right now. So we'll have to try the beach and the rock pools again another day. Maybe we'll like check the tides so that we can make sure we can get in. We hung out by the pool for a bit, grabbed a bite to eat for lunch, and then thought we'd chance it back at the beach in case the waves had calmed down. Which they had not. I guess we're not getting in for a swim today. So if you stay in Los Gigantes, basically everything's an adventure anyway, because the entire town's on a hill. So we're basically just hiking to Lidl to get some groceries for the week. I always love checking out the supermarkets when we go to a different country, and even though that was a Lidl, which is where we shop at home, it's still like really different, like all the different local bits and bobs. I don't know. So I got another iced coffee as a little treat. At least it's all downhill now back to the apartment. The evening sun is absolutely stunning. Dinner time. It was actually our 7-year anniversary, so we celebrated with our favourite food, Italian, a local beer, and then opened the bottle of wine our hosts had left us and enjoyed that on the balcony to wind out our first day. Good morning. We're starting our day in Masca. Today we got here just after 9:30 and it's so quiet. Like every now and then you hear the car arriving. Other than that, it's just like people chit-chatting. There is a cock-a-doodle-dooing and it's beautiful. 9:30 was kind of the perfect time for us to arrive. We got one of the last 2 car parking spots and the sun has just hit this main ridge of Masca, so ideal timing. So there is also a full hiking trail that you can do all the way down to the coast, down to Masca Bay. It takes about 3 to 4 hours. It's meant to be really beautiful, but that's not on the cards for us today. We also can't find where the trail is. It's over there, or maybe it's down there somewhere. I'd say it would be stunning. And also maybe time it so that you'd be in the shade early in the morning. That might be the way to do it. I think it is really, really beautiful here, and I'm glad we came because the landscape is stunning. But I have heard of a lot of people who had to wait a long time for a parking spot, and there's not a huge amount to do here unless you're planning on doing the hike, or there are a couple of restaurants that you can sit and have like breakfast, lunch or dinner maybe. But yeah, I think plan to come early in the morning, get a car parking spot, come take a look, take in the scenery, and then head on somewhere else. And that's what we're about to do. The camera never does it justice. That honestly looks like it's just straight up. So I guess that's what makes your time here longer, because it takes a while to get out. So it's 10 o'clock now. We got in and out, like strolled around for about 30 minutes. And in that time, there's way more people there now. Some of the tour groups had arrived. There were big buses of people. So I think 10 a.m. is the time to aim for getting there before. You can see it nice and red from that uphill back to the car. But we are off on the windy roads again to the next destination. Can you hear how quiet that is? This is crazy. We're ahead of schedule for our day, which means we can just pull over and stop whenever we see something cool. So we've seen this cool mountain with really unique, like, sort of dugout quarries. We pulled over and there's a sign right here to tell us what it is. So it's like volcanic soil, and the scars are from when they used to quarry for an ash called picone. That was like good for your soil for agriculture, and the reason it's like in different shapes is because these are like so it's from like different ownership. So this person didn't quarry, this person did, and that's why it has this really cool appearance. Our next proper stop of the day, which is just a village on the coast with this stunning mountain backdrop. Just for a little stroll. I'm also going to grab a coffee. Next stop of the day is a town called Garachico. So it's another coastal town. We found this massive free car park, and it's like 12 o'clock now, so we're not here early and there's still plenty of spots. So we're here for lunch and a swim. Wavy, pretty extreme. Did lose an earring and a minor injury against a rock. Worth it though. At least now I have the perfect excuse to get some new earrings. Every village and town that we've been to so far has been so beautiful. Like colourful buildings, cobbled streets, little town squares, and like the most amazing mountain backdrops. And it's not necessarily that I had low expectations, but I think I just had like this preconceived idea of what the Canary Islands were like based on I used to go to Lanzarote for my family holidays when I was younger, but we never like left the main strip, and I guess we haven't been to the main strip tourist areas of Tenerife yet, like Los Americanos. It's just funny that I didn't really ever consider everything else that the Canary Islands had to offer. These towns are beautiful so far. Garachico is, I think, one of my favorites. It's really, really colourful and historic. And yeah, just a really lovely place to stroll around. So this big guy here is basically what we're here for. This is the oldest dragon blood tree ever on Earth. Pretty cool. It is kind of hard to get the scale in. Like, that's a real fat trunk. This is what we want. That's actually scary. I really love botanical gardens as somewhere to visit when I travel. We do it a lot in European cities because it's a great way to like feel immersed in nature when you're in a city. And a lot of the time they're free. This one's only €5, which isn't bad, because you do get to see that cave, and the actual caves that are nearby you here were fully booked. There's no tickets, so we got a little cave experience. Oh, are you friendly? Yes? Oh, look at the kitty having a snooze. I've got a free tip for you. If you come to this square by the church, you get a totally unobstructed view of the tree for free. See those people right there? That's as close as you can get anyway. So yeah, I think if you're going just for the tree, maybe don't bother paying your way in. And right beside that is this lovely viewpoint too. And right here as well is this butterfly park.
Oh, that's $9.50.
$9.50, okay. Which we're not going to pay in, but also it's probably really hot in there. So that's the main reason we don't want to go in. Buenos tardes. It is now after lunch. We had a chill morning. I had some work calls and actually a couple hours of work in the apartment. Then we had a nice lunch, homemade in the apartment. And now we're heading out for our second attempt at swimming in the natural rock pools here in Los Gigantes. So it's just down the road. Fingers crossed we don't get there to the police closing it off again. The sea looks pretty calm today, so I'm hopeful. I think we'll get in. There's no police at the gate, so it's looking good today. It's us. So we ended up going straight from the rock pools back to the beach, kind of repeating the two things we tried to do on the first day and couldn't because of the
weather and the strong waves, and the water was so much calmer today. So we hung out at the beach for a little bit, did some snorkeling, but there wasn't an awful lot to see, so I didn't bring you along for that. But it's just an absolutely stunning beach, like the black sand and the cliffs in the background. It's like so scenic, and it's quite popular today. There's quite a lot of people there. Yeah, the location for us here at this apartment is just so ideal. Like the beach is literally, you can almost see it actually. It's like directly behind that wall. This is the main marina. It's really cute. A lot of people stop to like look at the fish. So there's like way more fish here in the marina than there was at the beach for snorkeling. But snorkeling is definitely something we like want to do on the island, and there are some places that are meant to be really good, so that's definitely on the itinerary for some point this week. Almost 5:30 now. The sun is getting pretty low, so our plan is to head out and watch the sunset, and then we are heading to a traditional Canarian restaurant for dinner. Our host of the Airbnb actually recommended it to us, so we're looking forward to that. But that is 36-minute walk away, entirely uphill, which is standard for Los Gigantes. So we're going to head pretty early. We're going to leave about 5:30. Take it nice and easy, find somewhere nice to watch the sunset. Hopefully it might be nice. There's a lot more clouds there than there were earlier, but I reckon if some of these bigger clouds clear and we're left with these kind of stripy ones, it actually might be a really nice sunset. It might really pick up the colours really nicely. So that's what I'm crossing my fingers for. This is the downside of staying in such a hilly location. Beautiful views, but you got the big hills and steps like this to get to some of the restaurants. So we've come to this viewpoint for sunset. There is quite a bit more clouds than I was hoping for. I'm hunched down to avoid the traffic noise and also so fewer people can see me vlog. But it's still a really great view, and we just witnessed a couple propose like right here, and we were just kind of standing watching the sunset. We didn't really know what to do. But story to tell. Someone sitting watching a sunset and then a photographer takes their photo and gives it to the person. I've always wanted that to happen, and it happened for the first time today, except it was a videographer and he took a video of me and Kieran watching the sunset. Here it is. It was so lovely. I also do think that we were just standing in a really good spot and he wanted the spot for his wife, because then he asked if we wouldn't mind if he gets a shot of his wife there as well after us. But either way, we have the really nice video now. Didn't realize you could still see this. So according to Google reviews, this place gets really busy and sometimes there's even a queue of people. So we got here as soon as they opened and there was already people waiting to come in. Must be a good sign. We have no idea what these are, but they came out with our mojo sauces. So now we've got some more stuff that we actually know what it is. These are croquettes, this is fried cheese, and these are padron peppers. Are really nice. Way better than the ones we had in Belfast. We asked about dessert and she just listed them all off, so we didn't quite hear everything she said, but we went for tiramisu and cheesecake. Yum. dinner. Morning. We are heading out today to probably one of the most well-known attractions on the island. We're going to Siam Park. So it's been rated like the best water park in the world for I don't know how many years in a row. I think I'm probably not going to film a huge amount of it. There's like tons of videos on YouTube already where you can see all the different slides. Not gonna lie, I'm quite afraid of some of the bigger slides, so I definitely don't really feel like bringing the GoPro and having to hold that. I want to prioritize my safety. But I'll give you a little highlight reel of the next few hours of our day.
Never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. It's all good.
So that was a lot of fun. We spent the whole day in the park from like 10 till 5 basically when they closed. Thankfully it wasn't too busy today. Managed to get on all the rides. There was like a few queues on some of them, but fast pass really wouldn't have been necessary. And yeah, definitely recommend. It has a good reputation for a reason. And now we're heading into a shopping mall that's right beside it because traffic is crazy. So we're hoping that there'll be somewhere here for us to get dinner.
We found a Mexican and this smells amazing.
Just all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you.
Good morning. We were up bright and early today for our first hike on the island. We're stopped now, strategically stopped about halfway up the ascent for a quick break. But obviously we have that amazing view of the cliffs of the giants of Los Gigantes. We've been watching them from our balcony, just looking at them, and Kieran spotted this little hole in the rocks at the top, like an eye through the cliff. So out of interest, he went and he looked and he found out that there is a hiking trail up to it. So that's where we're headed now. The trail starts down in a town called Tamaimo, is maybe how you pronounce it. You start on a bit of a dirt track and then through a little bit of farmland, and now it's pretty much just one ascent most of the way up, but it's really beautiful. We've gotten lucky so far with the weather. We've got some nice cloud coverage to keep it a little bit cooler for us. I am seeing more blue sky now though, so it might end up clearing up, which will be good for the views too, so no complaints. Let's keep going. I'm pretty sure that that is Mount Teja that we've gotten a view of now. Down at the bottom by the farms there were some signs pointing to a few different hiking routes, and we have seen a few of these way markers, so hopefully they bring us all the way up. Woo! Look at that. First view of the port. There it is. That's where we're headed. Still looks kind of far away. So this trail is marked as hard on all trails. I'd imagine that's mostly due to the terrain, like it's a lot of loose rock. And also the elevation gain is quite steep at times. But we just read up as many reviews as we could to kind of get an idea and decided it was within our capabilities. But definitely I think just really good footwear is the most important thing. For me that definitely means hiking boots, because my ankles have a tendency to roll, especially if I'm like on uneven terrain. And then obviously just come really prepared with lots of water, sun cream, because the sun probably will come out on us at some point, snacks to keep you going, and then probably more so out of habit than anything else, we also both have extra layers in case it gets cold at the top, because you know that's something you always need to prepare for in Ireland when you're hiking. But somehow I have a feeling that won't be the case here.
the views we're getting are already insane. One of the most important things I almost forgot actually, we have an offline map downloaded as well to navigate, because obviously we don't know for sure if the trail is really well marked the whole way to the top or not, so let's make sure we don't get lost. Still following these. Put you down there for a minute because the trail got a little bit more sketchy and I needed two hands, a little bit of scrambling, but we are just about there. We're at the top of the ridge now, so we basically just have to go down a little bit again to actually get to the hole and get the view through the whole of Los Gigantes. But it's even beautiful up here, like the views, first of all, 360, amazing. But I also love all these cacti suddenly up here. It's really cool. Absolutely incredible views. Follow the arrow, down we go. We made it. Whew. That last part was really sketchy. Also, it's pretty sketchy up here too. It's just a drop off over there. But look at that view. And we have it all to ourselves. I do think if there were some blue skies, the view might look better, or a little bit brighter sun, but then we'd be way hotter, so this will do. And like it's 360. Amazing mountain views over there too. Well worth it. Time for the summit of your hike snack break. So on Google Maps, the like cover photo for this is really cool. We couldn't figure out how they'd managed to fit the whole circle in, but there's actually a file name with the photo, so they took it on a GoPro, so I guess it's just a really wide GoPro photo. But I'm still gonna see if I can get something similar. Oh, the breeze is nice. There's quite a lot of Google reviews that say that this is quite an easy hike, but this section especially is quite dangerous. You really have to watch your footing, and obviously it's really loose and dusty and little stones, so it's quite slippy. And that's going down quite a long way. So definitely don't underestimate it and wear good footwear. So this is where we went wrong earlier. You come up over here, we went down this way. So that's where all trail brings you, all trails. But then you end up having to do a much steeper and very kind of sketchy ascent over there on really like uneven, slippy ground. But if you follow this marker and go up through the rocks here, there's only like one or two more markers and then you're kind of fending for yourself. But you'll have a much nicer trail the whole way along, closer to the top until you get down to the cave hole thing, and then you have to go downhill again. But definitely go that way. So we're not far from the bottom now. You can see the farmland just below us, which is where the like proper sort of mountain trail starts, and it is just coming up on 11 o'clock. We've actually passed 4 more people now coming up, so I definitely think us starting really early, like so we started from the car park at like 8 a.m. I think that's definitely the right move for 2 reasons. One, we're obviously the first people up here, we had the whole thing to ourselves. There's more people arriving now, and you beat some of the heat. Like we can really feel that it's getting much hotter now. There's still some cloud cover, but the sun is definitely making its way through. Like it's a lot hotter.
which is probably visible on my face. So yeah, definitely recommend just come and starting really early. If you are staying in Los Gigantes like we are, the town that you park in is only a 15-minute drive, so it's really easy to get to. Also, I think getting there earlier probably guarantees a parking spot in the car park that we started in, so that's my tip. Almost there. Whew, we did it. That last 10 minutes was tough. We had like closer to full sun, so it's hot. Hence the impressive sweat patches. But it was a lot of fun. The views were incredible, the scenery, the actual trail itself was really fun, but also obviously very difficult. Definitely don't underestimate it. Come prepared. And only come if you think you can handle it. Some parts of it are like a scramble, which is fun if you can handle it, but that would make it even more difficult for someone without the ability. But I enjoyed it a lot. Ready to cool down. The awkward thing about getting back to the village this time of day is all of the free parking is gone, so we are parked on the pier right at the very end, one of the last few spots. But it is nice to see it from this perspective. That's the beach, Los Gigantes, and then our apartment is one of the ones over there. And look, that's where we just came from. The little hole. So it's been a couple hours. We were both starving when we came back down from the hike, so we grabbed a really quick lunch, some baguettes and coffee, and then we just chilled in the apartment for a little while, a little nap, a little screen time. We were like really tired after the hike, and I think the sunshine at the end is what really got us. But we're back out again, and now we are heading off to Santiago, Puerto de Santiago, which is the town right beside us, for a swim. Look at the cat. It's really, really fine black sand. It's very cool. Let's go see some whales.
genuinely so good. My favourite whale / dolphin watching tour we've ever done. Just the small boat being so close to the animals, and the guide / skipper being like genuinely eco and respectful of the animals was really, really good. We were about to leave, but he really wanted to get a sound recording of their noises underwater through his like underwater microphone or whatever. So we were about to leave, and then we came across 2 more, so we said, okay, I'll try one more time. And then I got the best clip ever with my GoPro underwater, so I've saved that to the end. Just take a look at this. Having a really nice lunch actually in a Mexican restaurant, and now we are walking along the coast to the beach to do some snorkeling. It's a really lovely coastal trail, which I'm probably not appreciating fully because it's really hot. It's like 29 degrees and we did a 20-minute walk. But the humidity in some parts of the island is like less than 30%, so coming from Ireland, that's something we are so not used to. So I'm very booked, looking forward to a dip in the water. And yeah, we're hoping to do some snorkeling. Hopefully we'll get some proper snorkeling and some fish this time. So when we arrived at the beach earlier, we just took a seat and like fully got our money out, and we're getting ready to pay the ticket guy. We weren't like trying to evade him. He just never came over to us. I think sometimes at these places if we just arrived late enough in the afternoon, it was like just after 3 o'clock we got here, and they didn't charge us. So happy days. It's our first time in the Los Cristianos, Los Americas area, and it feels so totally different. Like it's just way bigger, more commercialized. It's very like loud and hectic. There's way more people. It's so much busier than anywhere else we've been. And then unfortunately what comes with that is that it's really dirty and there's rubbish everywhere, which I just think is so disappointing, that like whenever there's a larger concentration of people we end up with rubbish all over the place. Like it's mostly bottles and cans from drink and cups that are probably left over from last night into the early hours of this morning. And that's actually something I forgot to mention yesterday on our hike, that I was really pleasantly surprised that there was no litter on the entire trail, not even at the top, like in the cave area, which is where you'd imagine most people would stop for their snacks, which is where you usually end up seeing loads of rubbish, but not a single piece, which was really nice. But yeah, the same can't be said for here, unfortunately. Obviously that sounds like a lot of criticism. It's not necessarily. Like a big strip resort area like this is what a lot of people want, and it's like more accessible for a lot of people. They have everything like that you need really close by, but yeah, it's just not really my vibe as much. I much prefer the like small, cozy, kind of sleepy town of Los Gigantes with more nature around, rather than all the convenience of all of the like hundreds of restaurants and hotels and clothes shops and bike rentals and scooter rentals, and yeah, the list goes on. But anyway, it's nice for us to visit for a day. I forgot to film the main course because I was too excited to eat it, but it was really tasty. My crispy tofu wasn't very crispy, but otherwise very nice. Everything was really delicious. Definitely more expensive than what we've paid for so far, but I reckon most restaurants in this area are probably more pricey anyway, so it's probably just on par. Who knows? But yeah, it's so busy here now. Everyone is out for dinner. Oh yeah, there was a queue of people to get into the restaurant, so we got there at a good time to get a seat, to get a table without a reservation. But that's us for the night, heading back to Los Gigantes. So that wraps up the first week in Tenerife. I hope you enjoyed coming along and exploring from the coast and the mountains and everything else that we got up to. So far the island has exceeded my expectations. It has been even more beautiful than I anticipated. I do feel like there's still so much of the island that we haven't seen yet. So we're packing up and checking out of this accommodation, and then we are heading further north, and we have another apartment up there, and that's where we'll be for the next 5 days. So the north of the island is less popular, so some of the things that we'll be doing up there will be even more sort of off the beaten path, so I'm really looking forward to that. And then there's also even more varied landscape up there too, so it's going to be really green and luscious and tropical in places. I'm really excited to see that, and I'm sure there'll be some amazing hiking.
So this video was due to end here, and I was going to film a completely separate vlog of our 5 days on the north of the island, but in an unfortunate turn of events, we had our backpacks stolen on our very last day. Phones, cameras, wallets, passports, all taken. That's a story for another day. So that unfortunately means I lost most of my footage for that vlog. Instead, here's the last of my footage from the trip, where we road tripped up the east coast of the island on our way to our next apartment. As we make our way driving from where we stayed more south up north, we are stopping off at a number of different pins that we have along the map. So this is the first one. It is Arco de Tajau, is maybe how you pronounce it. It's a really cool, like, natural landmark. Going down there. Oh, so cool. Kind of looks like we're on the moon. This is very cool. This is very, very cool. Like, just a quick little pit stop as you're driving this part of the island. It really doesn't look as impressive from here, so it's definitely worth going all the way down to, rather than just looking from up here. But yeah, I think the way down is easy enough. Like, if you have any kind of grippy shoes, basically anything other than flip-flops, and you should be fine. So stop number 2 is only like a quick 5 minutes up the road, and it is a fully abandoned village, which I think is pretty cool. Up the road.
Never really know what's going on. Look at me sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. If all the things
I don't know if I spelled that right at all. What I think is funny about this is that there's only like a handful of Google reviews, and they're quite negative, but it's people saying like, oh, it's just abandoned buildings with loads of graffiti, there's nothing else to do there. And I'm like, that sounds like you set your expectation wrong, rather than the actual location having any issues, because that's exactly what I was expecting. So yeah, that's what it is, and I think it's pretty cool. It's actually a really large space. It goes really far all the way down here, and it looks like there might be a lighthouse at the very end. It is very warm and very hot and sunny. Excellent for this. It's like swim in the beach. That's great. Down there. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that next.
there are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart so slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go, turning all the wrongs into rights. Here we go, you can take me there tonight. Whoa, this life is all
not gonna lie, we did get here and then just kind of crashed a little. We're both very tired today, but this apartment is already looking pretty nice. Just take a look at this view. Like a lot of Saharan dust in the air at the moment, which is why like the sky is already kind of looking golden in the sun. It's not quite sunset yet, but I hope it does clear up within the time that we're staying here, because if it does, we will have a view from here of Mount Tasia, which I think will be pretty epic. It'll be up here. Can you almost kind of see an outline there? If you liked this video and you want to see more like it, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more. I'd love to hear about any of your favourite spots on the island, maybe some other hidden gems that I missed out on. Let's share them in the comments. And if you are maybe planning a trip here and you have any questions, just reach out. I would love to help. Hope you all have a great week, and I'll see you in the next adventure.